So let's move on to step 3, and that is defining your goals, like the top 1%. And I'll start off by saying money is not a goal. It is a result of your goals. And this is something, and all of you on this call make this mistake, is that you define your goals as we've got to hit $100,000 this month in production, as an example. Or we need to collect $140,000 this month in collections. We need to get, 25 new patients. Those are all results. They're not a goal. And that is something that, again, the top 1%ers define their goals extremely different than the non-top 1%ers. And I know it's hard because this is a total reverse of the way of thinking for all the doctors that are on this call. Because, again, that is how you've always done it. It's how the industry has always taught you how to do it. And it's almost like, oh my God, what is this guy even talking about? How can we not have a goal from a production standpoint? And that's why I want to go into this a little bit more in depth, because again, this is going to teach you how the most successful entrepreneurs on the planet define their goals. We do it with our company. Most of you now on this call do it yourselves, but there's also many of you on this call as well that are not there yet, haven't heard this. So it's very important for you to hear this stuff today. And again, it goes back to doing it the opposite of everybody else, okay? This step is going to really challenge your mindset on how you define your goals. So most people, most of you on this call, when you first came aboard, and most of you on this call that haven't quite got to this point of our program yet, when you want to increase revenue, when you want to increase profit, when you say to yourself, gosh, I want to make another $400,000 this year, you define your goals in terms of dollar signs and money. Now, of course, every one of us, including myself, wants to make more money. The problem with that is that your goals have to align with allowing you to make more money. They also have to align with your passions and your why. And that is something very, very few people understand and take the time to figure out. And this is why the 7 steps is so important. You define your why, then you move on and define your passions, and then you have to take the time to ensure that your passions support your why and your why supports your passions. Then on this step, once we get into this, it is very important that your why support your passions and your why support your goals. And that's how this builds off of one another. Now let me talk about how the top 1% define their goals. It first begins with money being completely eliminated from the thought process. And again, I know you're going, how in the world? I mean, we've got to make X in order to pay, the bills, in order for me to take a salary. And I get it. I'm not telling you to not, think about money ever. That's not what we're talking about. But I want you to eliminate it from your mindset in terms of goals. The next thing I want you to do, and it goes back to what I just said a second ago, is I want you to define your goals based off of your whys and your passions. And all of those need to support each other. Regardless of the type business you own, these same principles apply. Let me give you an example. One of my goals this year is to learn at least 5 new ways to motivate people based on the biology of the brain. And therefore, they can better interpret what I'm saying. They're going to be, they're going to listen better. They're going to want to listen better. They're going to be motivated by the information. And they're basically going to be able to interpret the data that I'm talking about at a higher level, which increases the chances they're going to go implement it in their business and their life at a higher level. So they see higher level results. So I want to be able to learn these things. So when I'm doing webinars, public speaking events, business coaching sessions, staff trainings, etc., that everybody that's listening and everybody that's a part of that is going to get better results. So my goal in 2017, and obviously I have a lot more, but we're just talking about this for example purposes, is to learn at least 5 new ways to motivate. Now, this goal perfectly aligns with my why and my passions. Now, by accomplishing this goal, I am going to be able to help more people achieve prosperity. When I am doing my passions of coaching, teaching, educating, training. And that's how all of those correlate. They all correlate together. The people I am teaching will be better because they're going to be able to interpret the information I am giving and speaking to them about. They're going to be able to implement these things better into their life in order to achieve improved prosperity. You all on this call are going to receive better results, always, continuing forever. Because every year the goal is going to be to advance the why and the passions behind why this company, New Patient Group, exists. Each one of you will be able to better interpret the information we're trying to get across to you, which means that you're going to be able to better implement it into your business. And all of that goes back to the why and the passions that I have and have implemented into the reasons why this company exists. Now, a result of all of this that I'm talking about, a result of those goals, is New Patient Group will generate more clientele, more revenue, and more referrals. Because we're going to be better at what we do. Think about that. Are you guys on this call right now more likely to refer business to us if we're motivating you more, giving you better results, you're interpreting the data that we're giving you, you're implementing it better? Are you going to be more or less likely to give us referrals? The answer is obviously more. So to recap all of this, it goes back to defining your goals in a different way. Okay? If you want to gain more patient referrals, a goal is not, I want 20 referrals this month. That's not a goal. That will be a result of your goal. A goal could be, I want to teach my staff and myself 5 proven methods to increase patient referrals, and I want to do so by such and such time. Now, by accomplishing that goal, the result will be an increase in patient referrals. Now, there's nothing wrong with, well, can we set a baseline? I want that goal to accomplish, 10 patient referrals. Sure. What I'm just trying to get across to you is I don't want that to be what you talk about with your staff. Don't say, hey, we're going to get 10 new referrals this month. That's our goal. No. The goal is that every one of you is going to learn 5 new ways proven to increase patient referrals. You're going to do so by such and such date. These are the 5 classes or videos or whatever it is I want you to watch. You're going to implement it immediately into the business. And as a result, I would like to get 10 patient referrals this month. You see how it's all the opposite of how, I want to do 100,000 in production this month. Okay. How are you going to get there? You have to define goals that will allow you to accomplish those goals to in turn see if you hit your result, which is what you're setting as $100,000 this particular month or next month or whatever month it may be. So that is how you define your goals, like the top 1%. You need to eliminate money from your mind and define goals that can be accomplished. It may be, hey, I want to become a better motivator, so I'm going to read 3 books about motivation. My goal is to read those 3 books by such and such date. The result of reading those 3 books is that I am going to be a better motivator. That's a goal. And a result that follows is I become a better motivator. And that's why there's so many things in the continuing education section. For those of you that are on our operational success platform, there's so many things in there about being a better business owner, a better motivator, a better leader. Because all of those should be your goal. Because all of those will help you accomplish the result. So that's step 3. And I want you to define your goals like the most successful entrepreneurs do before you move on to step 4.